How do you reconcile one doctor saying don't take prednisone with another doctor saying do take prednisone? That's a really tricky situation. Someone reached out to me wondering what to do. She thinks that the benefits are worth it, but one doctor says they're not. Let's see exactly what she said. So this is Luann. She said, the mood swings and fatigue and constant bruising are awful. I actually get a faster metabolism, so no weight gain. But the relief in inflammation sure seems worth it to me. My rheumatologist believes in monthly shots. My pulmonologist does not want me on prednisone. How do I reconcile this? Thanks for any advice. Luann. So, Luann and any other prednisone warrior wondering, how do you reconcile the fact that you are getting side effects like the mood swings, bruising, fatigue, with the inflammation benefit helping you? Now, I don't know what disease Luann has. That's all the details she shared with me. I have no idea why she has a rheumatologist and a pulmonologist. And I don't know if there's two conditions or if it's one condition that has multiple doctors helping treat it. So that would be really helpful if I knew. But in general, taking prednisone is a question you have to ask your doctor very carefully about. As far as, is it worth it for you? Because every disease and every condition is different. So for some people, their doctor, maybe even a pulmonologist, will prescribe prednisone for a cough. And it won't work at all because there's actually no evidence that prednisone will work for a plain old cough. If that cough isn't asthma or COPD or pneumonia that's requiring a hospital stay, it just doesn't work. And so if that's what the pulmonologist is saying, oh yeah, you shouldn't be on it, because that's their experience, is it doesn't work, then that makes sense. But if the rheumatologist is saying, look, you have rheumatoid arthritis, your joints are being destroyed as we speak because of the severe levels of inflammation and joint destruction that happens because of your disease, that is worth it. To stop the inflammation causing the destruction of your joints, being able to open a can on your own, being able to lift a cup to your mouth, those are really important things. And so if one doctor's experience is prednisone, not only does it not help, but it's causing side effects, and I've had patients complain of horrible side effects. And another doctor's perception is, this is helping prevent long-term damage, it's worth it. That's a really tricky situation. And so you really have to work closely with your doctor to find out, how well does prednisone actually work for my condition? Because as they say in the hospital, no one should die without prednisone. Like, just give it and see. If you don't know what's the problem with someone in the hospital, just give them some prednisone and see what'll happen. I don't agree with that necessarily, but it can be used for so many different things, and it might help, but it might not. And so you need to find out specifically, what is the evidence that is helping my condition that is really worth it for me? Now, one thing she said really stood out to me. That was, the relief in inflammation sure seems worth it to me. She acknowledges that she has those side effects, but she also acknowledges that that relief is worth it to her. And so for every single person, this balance, this question of the benefit, that relief of inflammation versus those side effects she mentioned, which can be horrible, the mood changes, fatigue, and bruising, and could be many other things, the bone loss, the insomnia, the heart disease, and so many infections, up to 150 side effects. But she said that the relief is worth it. So as long as you're fully aware of both sides of the equation, then that's fantastic. But it sounds like maybe she doesn't have a clear answer for both sides of the equation. It sounds like she does know what the risks are, but maybe she doesn't fully know what the benefits are, because maybe the pulmonologist hasn't shared specifically why he doesn't think it'll work, or maybe the rheumatologist hasn't shared specifically why he thinks it does work. She needs to know in order to make a better balanced question, to answer this question. Where's the balance for her level of inflammation, her level of disease, because every single person's situation is different. I had somebody reach out and say, I took prednisone and it changed my life. It made me feel so much better. And my friend took it and it didn't work and it caused all these side effects. Why? Well, it's because it affects up to 2/3 of genes. Everybody's response is different. And so you got to work closely with your doctor and realize that this is an art. The dosing of prednisone is an art. The finding whether it's worth it to you is really an art based on how well it's actually working for you and how horrible the side effects are. For some people, the side effects are just life-altering. They're horrible. People will call me and say, I can't function, I can't hold down a job, I can't be around my family, I can't do anything because of how it has changed my personality. The mood changes are so terrible. And others are like, I don't get any side effects, it's fine. So you've got to figure out for you, is it worth it? And if it's not, then you've got to find out what would be a better alternative. I have a whole long series of videos all about alternatives to prednisone for certain conditions and in general. But one thing that you can do is to find the best balance of these benefits and risks is to give back what prednisone is stealing. That's what's causing most of this risk. Is prednisone is stealing nutrients from your body, like calcium, vitamin D, magnesium, potassium, chromium. And so if you give those back, then you feel more like yourself. You feel more whole and complete. You have less bone loss. That's what the doctors who prescribe prednisone the most recommend. To prevent osteoporosis is to give calcium and vitamin D at a minimum. And so because of that, I invented a supplement. It's called Nutranize Zone. It gives back the nutrients that prednisone steals. You just take 2 in the morning with your morning prednisone dose and 2 at bedtime to help you get restful sleep at night. It's designed by me, a doctor of pharmacy. I'm board certified in these conditions, and I've made capsules, thousands and thousands of capsules in a pharmacy. And I figured out exactly the dose that you need to help give back what prednisone is stealing so that you can feel like yourself again. Just go to Nutranize.com and get it for yourself today so you can feel like yourself again. Signing off is Dr. Megan, your prednisone pharmacist.